We're just 2 weeks away, and this player base is being the craziest I've seen in a while. So make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more. I remember yesterday's video where we were talking about, SP might not be in the tens, because it's very strange that you got this card raising up in value, and Konami, boom, drops the SP announcement literally an hour after my video goes up. Okay, so SP is confirmed in the tens. Then why in the world are we spending $90 on an SP Little Knight? Why are we spending upwards to, $30+ on Diabell Stars? Why are we spending, crazy amounts on this? I'm very, very, very interested in this topic at hand here, because for as much as the Yu-Gi-Oh community has sat here and whined that, this game is dead, ban list didn't do enough, it is certainly a strange thing out here that all of a sudden this list drops, people are spending all of this money to get the instant gratification of having these cards now, and then to top things off, you're 2 weeks away from the reprints. Why aren't people being patient out here? And a lot of the comments out here have told me, Robbie, people have events coming up here. Okay, that's one thing, sure, but that's a lot of money to be thrown around out here at things right now that you're going to lose a lot of value on. You're not going to be able to sell a Diabell Star core right now and expect to get maximum value out of it unless somebody at your locals or in your online circle desperately needs this. And that's the reality I'm kind of feeling here is, one, where did this surge of people spending this money come from? Because there've been so many, people shitting the bed over here on the floor, being like, I'm done with Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm done with all this. And then all of a sudden, all these cards are moving. And then, you're so close to reprints. Spending $90 on an SP justified if it's a 400 card set? How many secret rares are in the set? You can at least expect what, around? I couldn't even tell you what we're expecting here. And then if you're expecting, because of the pool being 400 cards, well, maybe spending the $90 for an SP. I mean, how many cases of tins do you have to go through to try to pull an SP? I guess is our next turnaround out here that we're looking at this. Does the question become, is it worth it to spend money out here to get the SP Little Knight at $90? Or is it justifiable? Well, I mean, you could have got cases of tins at $80. That's the other big thing here too, is people, the value of pre-ordering. As much as people might hate it, might hate having that money tied up, one, get a trustworthy source. Go to some company that isn't going to hose you. I just read, actually, this is an interesting segue to tie in here. I just read a report about a lot of scamming happening out here. There was some Weiss Schwarz person that tied up, was it like 35 grand or something like that? I didn't read too much into it, but okay, that for somebody walking around in the community stealing that much money in pre-orders and not fulfilling them, that's a very real threat, and I get that. That's why a lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to go, is it worth it to this individual's, just because an individual also has been popping up. We did also have an instance recently out here as well, in the pre-order world, of somebody popping up trying to sell cases for $500. Now, if you're not fully aware of that, you are getting 150% scammed out the front door there. If you think, wow, a store is paying, what, like $650, $660 a case? And if they're selling it for $700, with shipping, they're probably making 20 bucks on $700, give or take, at the low rate. If they're selling it like $780, they're making $100 a case, pay for their overhead. That's not like the worst. But you're out here like, oh, this store's scamming me. You know, how dare they charge me this ridiculous price point out here? I'm going to go, this store I've never heard of, I'm going to go give them the $500. You know what happens? Months later, you got to go through the hassle of filing the credit card claims, the PayPal claims, because guess what? Or my favorite, you actually just receive this giant box of toothpaste in the mail out here. This all comes together on like the correlation here. If you're wondering like why we're talking about these scams, you've got the community out here needing the instant gratification and spending all this money right now. And then you have the flip side of the equation out here of the people that are trying to cheat the system, as we're going to call it, that are, you know, looking for the answer to, I don't want to spend this amount of money, let's do this. Also, something I've been hearing recently from a couple people involved with buying from TCG Player. A few cases were like, oh, you know, like, I bought a card. It was, I think the case was an IP Masquerade and a Starlight. You know, when the card was $700, they bought one for $300. And I'm gonna give you some spoiler alerts here, all right? Guess what they didn't receive? Their SP, or their little IP that they bought. And they're like, oh, you know, like, this is such a good deal. You know, it's $400 less than the price. Sorry, makes me wonder out here some days, some of the cool things out here. Also, this Centurion token that we just got in the mail is one of the coolest pieces that I've had. I'll talk more about that at a later time out here. It amazes me how much this community throws their money at the screen and is willing to waste it in 2 weeks' time. That's the whole point of this video. You're spending $90 on an SP Little Knight that you can probably get a secret rare from the tins at like $50. I know 50 is being very, very generous. It might be more, it might be less. All right, I'm just saying, if it's one in 2 cases, that's $360, technically $400 in product at current cost to pull one. If it's one per case, still spending $180, but there's no guarantee because it's a 400 card set because things are ramped up now. So you might be looking at $400 in 2 cases of tins to try to pull an SP. Yeah, that $90 looks a lot more justifiable, saving yourself a $310 price point out here. But why are we spending $90 on Diabell Stars when 2 weeks from now, you know, my favorite part about this whole thing is, you know, Diabell Star in literally months, November, the card goes to being the easiest thing in the world to acquire. Diabell Stars will be probably 25 cents in November. So you've got a nice September, October of this card being this tremendously high price, and then flush the toilet, Dookie! There it goes! Why did I spend $30 on this card for 7 weeks of playtime when it's 10 cents now? I really do ask you. I really do ask that out here some days. That's why I love this community. So, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. What do you think about the massive swing of spending in this community? And to the people that are like, oh, you know, like, I'm done with this game. Well, that's fine. It has not stopped the meta players out here. You know, the silent people that you probably have never even heard of in your life that goes to another locals and maybe has only been to a regional once and is a no-name from spending money because they're like, I want to play Diabell Star now. This looks fun. You know, got a little bit of extra money. The deck's not $1,000 anymore. All right, like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but we're not in February anymore. You're not at that $1,000 price point that Diabell Stars and Wanteds and Bonfires formerly were. No. Not anymore. The game is affordable again. You're not going to like me saying that. I don't really care. Wow! Yu-Gi-Oh's cheap. Anybody else? Oh, SP? Okay, sure, 1 card. Alright, Diabell Stars, Wanted's going to blow out. And maybe Tenpai's a little bit expensive. I mean, Trident Dragion shouldn't be more than $10, depending on what its rarity is. You know, it's a one of. You know? So, a lot to think about out here. Yeah, Hydras are still like $10, but you can build Tenpai for like 150 Pot of Prosperities in one. They want the $4 card, $5 card you had. It's realistic. You guys have a good rest of your day, alright? Patrons!
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.